Yeah. So hello everyone. Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to continue our topic on product agility. In previous videos, we have talked about the product vision. Yesterday we talked about the product roadmap. The next level is product backlog. Right. Let's understand the backlog funnel. If you look at that funnel, you might start with epics, which are large ones, lower priority and future release ones in the top, and then you have a release items which essentially might contain the features which is of medium and medium priority, maybe for immediate uh, next releases. And the next level is you build user stories, which are all small sprint sized detailed higher priorities, which is of three sprints of work actually. And finally it becomes work items or tasks which are estimated in hours, sized between 2 to 16 hours, implementation items and individual workable items, right? So this is how the backlog funnel works. You start with the epics, bring it down into features, bring it down into storage, and then make it as a task, right? Your product backlog may contain epics, features and storage. Your sprint backlog will contain stories and work item or tasks, whatever we call that. So this funnel need to understand that, right? So the product roadmap may contain epics as well as the features as well, right? So I need to understand this backlog funnel is very important, and how the product backlog is placed, how the sprint backlog is placed is very important. So let's get into today's topic on the product backlog. What is a product backlog? A product backlog is a list of ideas and potential work items for a product ordered by the product owner, right? So it's the product backlog is it could be a document or it could be a list of items, a list of ideas, right? Ideas can be represented in epics, features, user stories, or you can commonly call them product backlog items. A very important thing is the product backlog need to be ordered by the product owner. It should be ranked or it should be prioritized by the product, and it is a single source of requirement for any change to be made to the product. The product owner is responsible for the product backlog, including the content availability and ordering, right? So what are the contents of product backlog? User stories, features, functions, use cases, requirements, enhancements, technical fixes, technical debt, process improvements, bugs and defects, non-functional requirements. See, all these can be part contents of the product backlog. So essentially it will contain epic features and stories and work items or tasks, and tasks generally goes into sprint backlog, right? So if you're considering your bugs and defects as a requirement, that can be part of your product backlog, right? 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 Look at this picture. What could be the checklist of product backlog? It is managed and owned by the product owner. Single source of requirements for the product. Visible and transparent to all. Constantly evaluate. Ordered based on a combination of return on investment, value, dependencies, and risk. The product owner can use the combination of these four parameters for prioritizing the backlog. The backlog is aligned to the product goal. So product backlog need to align to a product roadmap and product vision. If you look at this picture, items become increasingly granular as they approach the top actually. So immediate sprints will have a more detailed information, and the future sprints might have a lesser information and less details. The product backlog refinement can be used to add details, estimate, and order to items on the backlog. This refinement exercise something you have to do before the sprint planning meeting. Product backlog should be updated during the sprint review based on the new insights. It's very, very important that the product backlog should be updated in the sprint demo meeting itself for the future releases. Very, very important. Product or release burn down or burn up chart may be used by the product owner to track the work. So very, very important aspect for a product owner to use the release burn down or release burn up, right? As you already know that the product backlog is based on a principle called deep. It should be detailed appropriately. So immediate sprints will have a higher order items. It should be more clear and detailed, and it will be having a higher value. The lower area, right? So which are future sprints or future releases will have less clearer, less detail, and lower value. So this deep principle is it's came from Mike Cohn, who is one of the Agile Manifesto creator. So deep means deeply appropriate, detailed appropriately, estimated. Product backlog should be estimated. Generally, you do the estimation for the higher order items. For lower order items, you might have some kind of high level information or high level story points, or a ballpark number might work for you. Emergent is generally evolving nature of the product backlog and need to be ordered or ranked or prioritized by the product owner. So this is the product backlog should follow the principle of deep. And one important aspect in a product backlog, assigning the product backlog items the business value of it actually. So this particular picture is taken from Scaled Agile website. They talk about PA objectives. You can call that as a release objectives, and they are assigning a business value with a scale of 1 to 10. The business owners will typically assign user facing features highest values, right? Let's say that speed up by indexing for 50% is a user facing feature. They are making it the highest value 10%. And they also the product owners should get advice from the technical experts who understand the architecture, right? Who understand the technical concern, right? Taking advice from technical expert will increase the team's velocity in producing the future business value. That's very, very important. So placing a suitable business value and getting a support from these kind of architects and enablers will help drive velocity and shows the support for team's challenges, technical legitimate challenges actually. Right. So very, very important that you have to place the right business value. Take an advice from technical experts so that will support they'll support the required providing a record support for them, for the team members. That will help drive velocity. So very, very important that you take support from the technical leaders, architect guys, and use it appropriately. You can align your business values according to that, right? One important aspect in this product backlog is the Maslow prioritization. You can use multiple ways of using prioritization. So Maslow is one of the widely used prioritization technique, for a product backlog, for tuning it, for ordering it, ranking it. You can use Karnaugh model. You can use a combination of business value, Maslow, plus you can use the risk and technical complexity. You can use multiple things. Maslow is one of the widely used, and very important in this picture I am talking about is the way you want to load in a particular sprint actually, right? So you have to maintain at least 20% of contingency with could have items, and you can have MEP or must have items at least 60%, and another 20% on should have items, right? As an agile coach, My coaching style is always, go for another 20%, load the team with the 120%. The 20, another additional 20% can be part of a stretch goal, right? The team will have a commitment of 60%, minimum of 60% to 120%. There was an, if it is an a team is an initial stage, there is a possibility of estimation errors or relative sizing may go wrong, right? So that is the reason you can initially go with stretch goal as well, so that you can, after 4 or 5 sprints or after 10 sprints, you can understand what is an average business value or average velocity teams is coming to that, right? So this is one of the, the way of putting your backlog items in place as part of the sprint backlog is very very important. And the another aspect in product agility or product backlog is, that helps you in identifying the release predictability, right? So we know that, we designed our PA objectives or release objectives, we assigned the business value, and we'll see what is an actual value we are, a team is producing, right? So we, that compare it, planned was actual, and try to measure your program predictability. This particular picture talks about team A and team B's, uh, program objectives achieved on every release or every PI actually, or every program increment or every release, whatever you call that, right? See that, team B is the blue color one, somewhat better than team A actually, right? So this is indicates you that, the orange color is out of control development, the blue color is more or less controlled one actually. So you can put your upper control limit and lower control limit. Your art or your release train is expecting team to achieve anywhere between the 80 to 100% of objectives, right? So that will help you. The release predictability is derived from your product backlog, derived from your, business value indications. So very very one important metrics you can look at from, backlog planning perspective and backlog health perspective, and adjusting your behaviors, based on the predictability you are getting. So it's a very very important one. Release predictability is very much associated with your, product backlog. Finally, how do you ensure the health of the backlog? I try to give an top 6 or 7 items which will help you being a product owner, which will help you to keep your backlog in a healthy manner. It's very very important. Backlog health will reflect health of the product agility. It will directly contribute to the product agility. So let's understand these 5 or 6 items. Backlog health indicates always your product backlog should be in deep principles. It should be detailed appropriately. It should be estimatable. It should be emergent. It should be prioritized. You can use prioritize using Masco. You can use ranking by business value. It should be visible to all the team members, and continuous flow of new ideas. Anybody can give you any information in the product backlog. You should allow them to add new ideas from any corner of the company, any corner of the organization. Product backlog might have epics and feature, but it should include stories at least for next to 3 to 4 spin. It's very very important. At least you should have stories for, at least for a release or two. And stories of immediate 2 or 3 sprints should meet definition of ready. Very very important, right? So that you can have a very good, uh, nice product backlog refinement and sprint planning meetings. Very very effective meetings. Only when you have, stories of immediate 2 sprints or 3 sprints should meet definition of ready, so that your refinement backlog, refinement meetings, your grooming sessions, your sprint planning session will be fruitful for you, right? So this is one important ways of ensuring that backlog health. Backlog health is one of the important metrics in our designing your product agility, which is very much connected to your product backlog, right? So hope you got a fair idea about how to build a product backlog and what is the role of the product owner, because the product owner is the key person in building the product backlog. He is the owner of the product backlog. The product backlog health directly will help you in the product agility. The product agility will help directly in your business agility, right? So hope you got a fair idea how and what you can do with the product backlog, how we can build our product backlog, what are the principles behind it, what are the metrics. Little bit of metrics can be associated with the product backlog, health as well as its predictability, and its principles like deep, or principles like definition of ready, right? How is it helps that, right? So thanks a lot for your time. So I would like to conclude this video with this information. So please provide your feedback on my improvements areas, like improving on my content and delivery, right? So thanks a lot for your time. Thanks for patient listening. Bye bye.